let's jump into some charts. Okay. So we've had a lot of sideways price action. Everybody's waiting to kind of see where the market goes. And so are we. Now, we've had a couple of ideas on how the price action was going to play out over these last week or two, which essentially has done what we expected it to do. But we had some huge news come out last night that certainly is going to act as a catalyst for this next leg up over the next couple of months, which is so funny how things always play out like this. You get a massive nuke, you get a massive liquidation candle, everybody loses their mind, everybody capitulates, it's the last shakeout before the next leg up. Then all of a sudden we get news last night saying that iShares is trying to add yield to their ETH ETF. Well, for anybody who understands the implications of that, that is massively bullish. That is bullish beyond belief. That is way more bullish than the ETF itself, because right now, the way that the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs are set up, they're effectively the same things. It's just you buy Bitcoin, you buy Ethereum. So what are most boomers going to think, right? The generation with the most money in this country. They're going to say, well, let's just buy the Bitcoin ETF. Why would we buy Ethereum over Bitcoin? Bitcoin's obviously doing better. It's been outperforming Ethereum for the past 4 years. Why would I buy Ethereum? Let me just buy Bitcoin. Well, now they have a reason. Now they have an incentive to buy the Ethereum ETF over the Bitcoin ETF. Yield. Do you have any idea how geeked up that gets boomers? Do you have any idea how yield dividends off of my Ethereum ETF? They're going to ape that shit. They're going to eat that up. So that is incredibly bullish for Ethereum. And it's so funny how these things play out, right? Pay attention. Markets, there's no accidents. There's nobody knew about it. That was out of nowhere. No. Isn't it interesting that we get a massive liquidation event, one of the largest, if not the largest liquidation event in crypto in history? Ethereum goes from over $3,000, wicks all the way down to $2,100. And then 1 week later, we get news that they're applying for Ethereum ETF with yield. And Eric Trump is tweeting, you should buy Ethereum right now. Thank me later. And a whale shoved $100 million of Ethereum last night. BlackRock aped more Ethereum yesterday. Trump's crypto company aped more Ethereum yesterday. Do you think there's any kind of correlation there? Do you think somebody might know something that's happening behind the scenes that hasn't gone public yet? You see how these things play out. So, I mean, I don't understand how you could not be bullish on Ethereum. I understand the sentiment behind it. I understand why people are afraid, but this is what happens. You get these massive nukes, these massive shakeouts, and all of a sudden we get an Ethereum ETF with stake yielding. Are you fucking kidding me? That's why it nuked, because these guys understand the significance of that. So they're aping Ethereum right now. And so are us and the gentleman inside the Taylor's Code. So anyways, let's take a look at these charts and we'll find out where we're going after this. And hopefully we get Logan back for next week. All right. So I got to do this a little bit differently now because I'm not used to having Logan not here. So we'll do a little Mr. Producer. We got all them hoes. All right. Do that. Did that work? Come on. Okay, good. Right? Why isn't it showing? Hold on. Hold on. Show it. Yeah. There it is. Bang. Okay. I thought it was a Matrix attack. I thought AOC and Logan were attacking the stream. Okay, here we go. All right, gentlemen, let's take a look at these charts. So first things first, the typical, and I got some new ones that we're going to look at today, so hang tight. But we always just got to take a look at this again. Look at what we're doing. Same thing. We've been saying this. Since we got this massive wick down, okay, and we stayed within the range, we've literally just been dinking around within the February monthly open and the 2025 yearly open. This is on purpose. This is so that there's literally no signal in Bitcoin right now. There's no directionality. There's no decision making. Nobody thinks we're not showing that we're going to go up. We're not showing that we're going to go down. Anything between the February monthly open and then the 2025 yearly open is nothing. There's no signal. There's nothing there. Okay. So we can't even look at Bitcoin for data right now. So we got to look at other assets for some type of signal. Until we get above this monthly open or we get below this yearly open, there's nothing to draw any conclusions from. I have this line drawn out from here. If we take this high and we reclaim this high, then I do believe we take that next leg higher up to like 130K. Okay. Outside of that, it means nothing. There's nothing here for us to look at on Bitcoin. Okay. So if I take away a couple of these drawings, I'm going to show you just, I'm going to show you something that I'm looking at here. So I want this channel. Yep. And this channel. Okay. Just from a higher time frame perspective, just so you guys can understand the structure that we're building here on Bitcoin. Okay. So what we're getting is we're getting a falling wedge or a bull flag. All right. Whatever you want to call it. And whenever you see Bitcoin build these types of structures, this is bullish. Okay. So what tends to happen with price is if you range over a long enough period of time and you see this falling wedge, this bull flag start to form, typically what happens is you'll build short in order to send higher. And then vice versa for the other direction. You'll build long to send it lower. Okay. Because what that does is it fakes out market participants. So over a long enough period of time, yeah, this is a range right here, this 8-month range, and you can draw it as a range. And we have a way where we did draw it as a range. So if I take away this channel and we should have a range on here. Yeah. So we have this range drawn out. You can draw this as a range and you can put fibs over top of it and you can play it as a range. But another way to look at it is as a channel. Oops. So it's this one up here. Is as a channel. Okay, this falling wedge. And so this falling wedge, you're building short in order to do what? You see what happens whenever you build short. So you build short, you're kind of slowly drawing down, you're getting people afraid, you're shaking people out of the market, you're getting people thinking that, it's probably over, we're going to keep coming down lower and lower. And finally, you break out of this bull flag, you retest the top of the bull flag, you bounce up off of it, retest it again, bang, you get that next leg higher. So you build short to go long. So what are we doing again? Well, now we've effectively done the same thing. As we get this next leg up higher on Bitcoin, we pause again and we're starting to form this falling wedge, this bull flag. And so this could take another week, 2 weeks, could take another month. We'll see. But you're building short, which is bullish, because you build short, you shake people out, you get people afraid, you get people to open up shorts. So they try to drive the price down lower. And then all those people who are opening shorts, people who are selling, people who are trying to wait for lower, they get blown the hell out, because eventually what's going to happen, well, something similar to what happened over here. Finally, you might still get something like this. You might get this. Who knows how long it takes. But then finally you break out of this wedge, you retest the top a little bit like that, and then you get this next leg higher, right? Effectively, same thing you got here, right? You come back down, boom, 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 boom. You finally get up top, bang, next leg higher, right? So what we're expecting is your build short for the next leg higher. Okay, so we're fine on Bitcoin. I don't see lower prices on Bitcoin coming in the sense of a breakdown. I don't see us breaking down and refilling this entire FVG, right? I don't see that happening, okay? So we get off of Bitcoin. We go to Ethereum. So what happened last night with Ethereum is we got to add some context here. We broke down. We come into this new range on Ethereum, okay? And so, not new, well, we came into this range that we had started back in August on that August 5th nuke from Japan. So we move up, we retest, and we reject at the oh-so-hated $4,000 mark on Ethereum, okay? We cannot break out of 4,000 on this cycle, not yet, okay? Previous all-time high was 4,800, 4,900. Put it up here, okay? This cycle, we keep rejecting off of this $4,100, $4,000 mark, okay? This one was about 4K, 4,100 right there. So we break down and we come all the way back down and we re-enter this range that we had back in August to September, okay? All the way through November, actually, okay? So we get this big liquidation wick. And so this is where people are saying on altcoins, we're not sure what is happening. Do we think it's going to come down lower? Do we think we V-recover? A lot of people are super bearish right now, and they believe that we're going to come down lower. I'm in the camp that there's still a potential for the filling of that wick, okay? So the filling of this liquidation wick. So what typically happens on these moves on Ethereum is you get this liquidation wick, this big liquidation event that we got right here. You kind of bounce back up to right here, right? You retest the top of the range. And then eventually, because everybody thinks we're back here, everybody's back bullish again. Oh, we're going to V recover and we're just going to do this. What happens is you get this move to the downside, okay? Which does what? Well, this move to the downside effectively fills this wick right here that we created, okay? So this wick gets mostly filled and creates the bottom of our range. And then we start our climb back up higher, and then we made that move, okay? And then we made this move. So our question that we're trying to answer right now is, all right, we did this again here in August. We came back, we refilled the wick. Here's this wick right here, okay? So what we're trying to figure out is not whether or not Ethereum on a larger time frame is bullish. No, we know it's bullish. I'm in the camp that Ethereum breaks its previous cycle all-time high before this cycle is over. If you're in that camp, then right now these are fantastic levels to be accumulating Ethereum at. And considering the fact all of a sudden they had just announced an Ethereum ETF with yield, with staking capabilities, which means people are going to start aping the shit out of it. I'm bullish on Ethereum long term. Okay, so if I'm bullish on Ethereum long term and I have fibs that show that we're going to make a move like that on ETH and we're actually going to break out into price discovery and do something like that, I'm not necessarily afraid that Ethereum is going to break down on this lower time frame and we're going to go to zero. No, not at all. But what I am trying to understand is what is the most effective time? When is the most effective time to be reaccumulating our Ethereum beta? When should we be accumulating it? Well, we got to see if we get a similar move as we did last time. So do we retest the top of this range? Because look at the confluence here. This is what you have to do. You have to use context. We retest the top of this range right here. Okay. We test the top of the range, and then we break all the way back down, and we fill this wick. Well, last night, whenever we got the news to drop about that new ETH ETF, what did we get? We got this big candle. I'll zoom in on it. Okay. I'll even go on a lower time frame. We got this big candle that came and retested the top of the range. Look at that. Okay, so keep that in mind. So let's take a look at this on the higher time frame again. It's too small. So we come back and we retest the top of this range. All right. So it's possible, right? You see what happened here? So we come back down. We have this liquidation wick. We come up here. We retest the top of the range. Then we come all the way back down and we refill the wick before we end up moving higher. We come down, we have this liquidation wick, we come back up, we retest the top of the range. Okay, so there's one of two things that can happen here. If it plays out how it did last time, and we're being observant of the market, we could actually expect something like this. Boom. Right down into here. Because then what happens? We get this move, which is confluent to this one over here on the left. Right? We come all the way back down. We refill this wick, which means what? Well, I'll give the signal inside of the Discord, inside of the Taylor's code, whenever we are going to accumulate our assets. But down here is whenever you would start reaccumulating, because this would signify the low. And then what happens? You get this grind back up to all the way up here, right? So we would expect something like this. So we get that wick fill. We come back up. Retest the mid-range, boom. And then in my opinion, on this tap of 4K, this will be the third one. On the third tap, we finally do this. Boom, bust through. Okay? That's the move you want to be positioned for. That's the move you want to be ready for on Ethereum because it's coming. Okay? So patience in the meantime, long-term still very bullish. Okay?